Balake, my brother since forever, and Ari, my newfound brother. Here's a little summary of the account. I do know who's running the account, and whatever I share with you guys over here is absolutely no disrespect to anyone who's done any work over here. Blake knows how I work. I never criticize anyone. I'm not part of this crap industry of shitting on each other, pardon my French. So here we go. We have currently spent this month 1,039,000 with approximately 95 book calls at 411 cost per book call. This is obviously without looking at the Hyros dashboard and the Hyros extension. So obviously the cost per call might be a little higher, might be a little lower, but this is what we're working with. I am sharing with you details and data in terms of the account setup. Hyros and inner funnels can come later. All right. My understanding talking to Blake was this is kind of a call booking funnel. It starts off with an opt-in, a lead into a VSL, call booking, and all that good stuff. All right. First thing that is absolutely glaring to me, and again, no disrespect to anyone, is there are no PMAX campaigns, Performance Max. Performance Max is absolutely beating every single account, every single campaign in terms of performance, in terms of ROI, in terms of cost per call booked, and all that stuff. It has the most robust algorithm. It has the most robust smart bidding strategies of all the accounts. Of all the campaigns. And so, absolutely, this is a big minus for us over here. People don't usually like Performance Max because you don't have the necessary control that you would have with like YouTube or Demand Gen or such. But Performance Max is literally on every single account I'm working on is beating all other campaigns. And again, if you don't guys work with whatever me or whoever, just whoever's doing this, ask them to run some Performance Max campaigns for you. Again, it is just hands down a winner. All right, so I have taken some notes, so pardon me, I'm gonna pause and go sometimes. So this is a call booking funnel, but unfortunately, all the campaigns are optimized for multiple tags. They are optimized. For example, let's look at this one, which is the highest spending one, 8,000 this month. It is optimized for, what is it? It's optimized for four tags, which is way too much, which is the VSL page is an opt-in, is basically a lead, and a book call and a Hyros purchase and whatever this Hyros tag is. This is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. All the campaigns are optimized for all these tags. It is just generally better to optimize for whatever tag that is most important to us. So since this is a call booking funnel, I would personally optimize for one single tag, which is a call booking. Look at this, for instance. I kind of rearranged the columns over here. I'm sorry, Blake. um, 16 book calls at 512 cost per call, but look how many conversions. This is way too confusing for the algorithm. If this is the most important metric for us campaign side, not funnel side, if this is the most important metric for us campaign side, getting that many conversions and that tiny percentage of it being book calls is very confusing for the algorithm. So basically, most of these are leads. So basically, what we're telling Google is get us a lead and a book call and a purchase. However, Google is going to understand that the lead is the easiest one to get. So I'm going to get you as many leads as possible, which means the cost per lead is going to be lower. However, the lead to book call conversion rate is also going to be way lower because the signals we are sending Google is get me as many leads as possible. It is not get me as many book calls as possible. And you can see that across the board. There's only one or two campaigns with minimal difference, which is this one, for instance. And look at this one, 9 and 298 conversions. This is definitely not ideal. You want to optimize to that single most important tag. Now, if the sales cycle is very short, like there are some accounts Blake and I are working on, if the sales cycle is very short, we have optimized for a purchase and it is working and giving us the ROI needed and all that stuff. But again, I do not understand over here the sales cycle. So, second point is it is not ideal to optimize for a lead and a book call and a purchase and this and that and checkout and whatever it is. Optimize for one single tag, whatever is most important for us. Next point is a couple of the biggest spending campaigns, for instance, this one and that one, 8,000 and 4,000. So basically, what is it? Two of the four top spending campaigns are not using smart bidding. It's using maximize conversions. Smart bidding is either target CPA or target ROAS versus maximize conversions. And 99.9% of the time, whatchamacallit, smart bidding beats maximize conversions. So personally, I wouldn't, unless this is running. Again, I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm just talking to you guys with the context that I see over here. I do not understand what they're thinking in terms of running their campaigns and what their context is. I'm just looking at this and I'm just sharing with you. I wouldn't spend $8,000 on a campaign running on maximize conversions. That is absolutely sure. I wouldn't spend $5,000 over here on a campaign with maximize conversions and multiple tags. So this is 9 book calls, but 298 conversions. Like, this is an absolute no-no. They could be giving you positive ROI and hires on your back end. That could be true. But I'm just talking to you in terms of pure Google account and campaign setup. That is an absolute no-no. Blake knows I got like partnership with like Upper Google Management, and they kind of share the same data, the same input, that this is like a no-no. Another non-ideal thing I see across all the campaigns is we have multiple ad groups per campaign and multiple ads per ad group. To me, this is a no-no. Blake knows I've spent whatever, close to $100 million on Google Ads, and so I do have a system. Maybe it is my system, I'm not sure. I do know that not many people run what I run, because like I do my thing. Blake knows this, but all these campaigns, they have 5 to 7 ad groups, and inside each ad group 3, 4, 5 ads. That is definitely not ideal. The ideal, and inside each ad group we have multiple audiences as well. That is definitely not an ideal setup. It is a bit dated. The way I do run stuff and I have found success with is one campaign with one ad group and one audience inside that ad group and one creative. So for instance, I don't know, let's look at this one campaign. This is 5 ad groups, and inside the ad groups, whatever, how many ads do we have? 15. That's too much. That is too much. With a maximize conversions and bidding for multiple, optimizing for multiple tags, not the most important tag for us. This is way too confusing for the algorithm. This is way too hard for actual campaign management as well, and it is just not optimal. You want to go with one campaign, one ad group, one audience within that ad group, and one creative. You do your creative testing like this and your account setup as well. Multiple ad groups is just a no-no. And another thing on this topic, since we're here, if I click on edit over here, you see videos, it's like nothing over here. It's not blue because we just have one spec. Generally speaking, we need 3 specs, 16 by 9, 9 by 16, and 1 by 1. We need to please the Google God so that Google God pleases us in return. So this is not ideal at all. I do have my data that says clearly shorts on short videos work better. 16 by 9 on horizontal work better, but now we're having 16 by 9 appear on shorts, and this is not a great conversion rate for us. So whatever we do have, and I know it is annoying, and whoever you work with, ensure you give them like 3 specs so that we give the algorithm and the machine the best possibility to work in our favor. Don't get me wrong, Google's always going to steal our money, but to a degree we need to appease it so that it appeases us back in return. So what I'm sharing over here in this campaign, it is literally on every single campaign, so I'm not going to bore you with each and every one. It's going to be repetitive. This is the same kind of theme across all the campaigns. But another thing, for instance, small things that make a difference, for instance, as well, is frequency capping. Where is it? Frequency cap. Let me pause it. Yeah, frequency capping. So here we are, 7 views per week. All these things kind of, suffocate the algorithm. doesn't give it the space needed to work. So basically the 7 views and the multiple conversion tags, where is it, the multiple conversion tags, we have 4 conversion tags, multiple ad groups, multiple ads all in the same place. It just gets a little murky, so we absolutely don't need this either. Now let us go to the search campaign. There is one search campaign, but unfortunately it is not ideal either. This is the search campaign. It spent 1,400 with whatever, no book calls, 49 conversions. ROI is 2.4 for this month, and again, I do not understand how this is tracked and all that stuff, but great if it's doing well for you guys. I hope everything goes well for you guys. I'm just again talking to you in terms of account structure, account maintenance, foundations, fundamentals. It is lacking, unfortunately. No disrespect to anyone. So this is the search campaign. This is also an absolute no-no, because as everything else, it is optimized for multiple conversion tags, which is not ideal. And unfortunately, it is mixing brand and non-brand keywords in the same spot. Definitely, that's a no-no. It's missing other things as well. I'm not gonna bore you with the nitty-gritty, but the main thing that stood out for me over here is it is, along with all the other stuff that we have discussed account wide, it is mixing brand and non-brand keywords, and this is just a no-no. Separate them in different campaigns and optimize them accordingly, because each one will have its own target CPA, its own bidding, its own psychology in a sense, right? So never put them together. So there's 10x BNB, that is a brand keyword. How to start CO hosting Airbnb. It's got nothing to do with literally brand keywords. It might be our target market, but it's not our brand keyword. Let us continue, and I'm sorry if I am bothering you guys, but this is how I do things. It's just a deep, this is not a full deep dive, by the way, but I'm just sharing with you guys so that you have some context and perspective on what is happening under the hood. There are certain keywords. There's, I think, 70,000-80,000 websites and 141 negative mobile placements that should be account wide excluded, but they are not excluded. There are a few keywords excluded campaign wise, but I'm talking account wide. There should be 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 keywords, negative keywords account wide. There should be, I have a list of whatever, 80,000 negative websites that never convert, that should be implemented account wide as well. And there are 141 mobile placements we can exclude account wide, because never ever have I seen a conversion come from a video or a banner appearing on a mobile game or a mobile placement. So that is absolutely no. Another thing that is missing is just remarketing and connecting our YouTube channel to our Google Ads account. Probably it is connected, but there is no remarketing, which is a loss. Even if we do not have sufficient audiences, we can use remarketing as signals, and it always works. We do not have, as far as I saw, and again, I could be very wrong, but we are not running any any campaigns targeting our databases used as audience signals either. So if we have a leads database or a book call database or a purchase database, we can import this into Google Ads and use it as an audience signal for our demand gen campaign, for our PMAX campaigns, all that stuff. These things, fundamentals that are being missed over here, that I have in literally every single account I touch, and for the most part they do work. Sometimes they do not work, but for the most part it is absolutely, they do work. So these are a couple of things missing. And finally, let's talk about audiences. So audiences this month, I'm not gonna bore you with the nitty-gritty. It is like 34 audiences. I went through most of them. A couple of points I have for you. There are way too many keywords per audience, which makes everything murky. So look at it this way: way too many keywords in an audience, way too many ad groups in a campaign, way too many ads in an ad group, way too many conversion tags to optimize for in a campaign. So it is murky. There is no clear direction or account fundamentals in place for the account, not just even for the campaigns. So too many keywords in one single audience, and see all these audiences, upgraded audience, this, that, and the other. Way too many overlapping keywords in that same audience as well, which also makes things murky and unclear for the algorithm. um, this is definitely not ideal. So if you have a keyword in this audience, you don't need to have it over here and over here and over here. When we have several keywords like in 700 different places, that is absolutely not ideal. There are certain audiences that are missing. For instance, custom intent audiences based on our brand keywords, custom intent audiences based on how-to keywords. Usually I like to keep it one keyword per custom intent audience because I know which keywords work, and then we'll expand on it. For instance, this one, I'm just choosing this one randomly. um let's see. Look how many keywords there is. It is too many keywords. I just use one, maybe two per audience, and I target that with my campaigns, and then I'm able to understand which keyword actually works. This way, it is just impossible to decipher. It is just clubbing whatever into whatever, and if it works, it works. Again, Blake told me that the ROI is there, so bless you guys. I'm happy for you guys, but I'm only talking account wide from Google hands-on perspective. That is all I'm talking about, right? And a lot of these audiences, most of them do have this. Where is it? There you go. Household income top 20 to top 30. This is an absolute fallacy. It actually hinders performance, even though most people think, oh, I'm targeting people with money. So it doesn't really work like this. Actually, there's a lot of estimation in Google in terms of how it works. So basically, if you're a rich guy and 10 houses around you are poor, but you are a very rich guy, then the average household income for those 11 homes is high, even though 9 out of the 10 is poor. You know what I mean? So it is just not, just don't use it, basically, right? There's a few more stuff, but this is the high level things you guys kind of need to pay attention to, in my opinion. I thought I'm gonna make it short, but I'm sorry, this is 17 minutes of pain for you boys. I'm really sorry, but I hope you find this helpful, guys. Blake, anything for you, brother? Ari, you're a new brother, man. Reach out anytime.